Hey, it's Cody. I just wanted to come here at the top of the episode to tell you about the newest Earbud Media show, because we don't really talk about it, but I'm very proud of it. It is called Diary of a Mad Muslim, and it's hosted by Sarah Khan, who is a friend of the show, and we've read her stuff on the show before, and she's very great, and it's a very cool show. It's about being Muslim in America, and a whole lot of other things. But yeah, you can find it on iTunes and SoundCloud, and wherever you listen to podcasts at Diary of a Mad Muslim, and you can find it at Mad Muslim Pod. So yeah, check it out if you wanna. Bye.
Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Sick.
Cody.
Speaking of sick.
How you doing, Cody?
Awful. Thanks for asking.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's been Into the Twilight, folks. Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, goodbye.
So, it's September now, which of course means back to school. And of course means that, Cody, you're obviously really getting into that back to school spirit by just getting your sickness out of the way, right?
By contracting the plague, yeah.
Yeah. So, great. Good start. You're just going to be really spreading those germs around to everybody in the city. Good job.
I can't wait. Yeah, no, all of Chicago.
Thank you.
You better stay the fucking doors.
You're just going real Prince of Egypt on this motherfucker, aren't you?
I only go Prince of Egypt on anything.
Oh, damn.
That's my one mood.
Damn. Real biblical. I guess we should probably save those references for later on in the podcast, too.
Fuck, I mean, we will get to them. Don't you worry.
In this Christian podcast? Listen.
Oh my god. Absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely not. So, Cody, I'm so proud of you, first of all, that you've made 41 episodes, well, I guess 40 episodes with not getting sick on the podcast. And I'm amazed and intrigued and also slightly jealous, is what I should say. So tell me everything.
What do you mean tell you everything? I'm sick. I'm sick, Allie. What do you want from me, Allie? I'm sick. I made a phlegm.
My new
I'm under
memoir.
a blanket. And I want to die.
Oh, man. What I would give to be under a fucking blanket right now. It's 95 degrees out, y'all. It's September.
What the fuck? Isn't Pacific Northwest supposed to be, chill? Literally and, figuratively?
You have no idea how much I hate this. I hate this. I don't understand. The deal that I made with this earth was when September, I put up with August. I try so hard, it's Leo season, I do my goddamn best, and I make the deal with this planet that when September hits, it's supposed to immediately be 65, I'm supposed to wear a scarf, I'm supposed to put on my boots, and live my best life. And 65 is even, I'm making a compromise. My best life is, 55.
Oh my god.
And so... But when I look at my phone app and it says, oh yeah, it's 95, and I'm saying, sorry? I don't understand. Yeah, so it's a hellhole, folks. Welcome to my life, is where I'm at. All of my students have been very perplexed when they're trying to wear their new back-to-school outfits, which include the outfits that I have suggested, the ones that I want to wear as well, and they cannot do that without sweating buckets. So it's been a wild ride.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's been a trip. In other news, I'm holding on to a stuffed lamb right now, so that's where I'm at. I'm really trying to live on to... I thought that I would have some symbolism fun today, and also... I don't know, it brings me comfort. These chapters make me unhappy.
I haven't thought about the fucking lion and the lamb bullshit in so long. And now you just bring it right back up. You bring it right back in.
How could you ever forget, is my question.
We're not in Twilight anymore, right? She's not saying it every 5 seconds anymore. So I've distanced myself a little bit.
what a life to live. To be able to distance yourself from Twilight. I do forget, I guess, that you aren't, you know, in the trenches of our blog, and so you don't get like barraged with the Lion and Lamb quotes at every possible second. But
absolutely not.
Speaking of Bella and her propensity for bringing up old quotes, I have come to a conclusion with you, obviously, that we should do something to celebrate Bella's birthday.
I mean, might as well, right?
I mean, it is a monumentous occasion, even though she hates...
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh. I mean... Alright, so this is when I just... no, I'm just
Allie's
kidding.
gonna quit the podcast.
No. I mean, I know
Bella's birthday is my favorite holiday.
Oh, can you fucking imagine?
I absolutely can, which is...
Hey, first of all. So, I know Bella doesn't like celebrating her birthday. Virgo problems. However, we're going to be celebrating her birthday because we're doing our first live stream.
Wait.
Patreon goals for the win.
Wait.
But I guess we're kind of making a compromise with Bella because we're not doing it on her birthday. So, that's the thing. Cody, when are we actually doing our live stream?
September 14th, 9 p.m. Central.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
On our YouTube channel.
Yes.
Into the Twilight.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome so much. I love you.
Aww. I just like squeezed my lamb when you did that. It was not on script.
Is this lamb acting as a voodoo doll? What's happening here? What's going on?
No, I couldn't find my koosh ball, so I grabbed the next best thing. It's like the size of my palm. It's really cute. It's like very small. So, yes, during that live stream, we'll be talking about things, vampire-adjacent things. So I'm very excited about it.
Ask us questions. Have fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Please don't let it just be us two, for fuck's sake.
Please come.
Okay, so current event things. Cody.
Yeah.
First up on the docket, there's actually a theme park happening for Twilight. I mean, God bless.
Our next, after Forks, obviously, our next real field trip, going out in the field, is to, fucking Korea.
Thank you to everyone who's helped make our first patron goal happen. We are now adding...
We're now fundraising to go to Korea.
Yep, we are now fundraising to go to South Korea so that when they open up this Lionsgate movie world, we can go... And, because apparently it's in 2019 that they're opening it up, so...
That is a real swift turnaround.
Hell yeah, they're not fucking around.
I do want to stress the fact that this is not a Twilight theme park, it is a Lionsgate movie world, which means there is a theme park for, 7 of the most popular Lionsgate movies, including The Hunger Games, including Twilight, including... Now You See Me?
That was the
movie
one
about magicians with Jesse Eisenberg. So, like... I just don't understand.
I didn't read that Oh no.
Yeah,
To the magic and mystery, and Now You See Me.
Yeah, everyone's favorite movie.
I mean...
About magicians.
Yo, I fucks with that first movie, though. Are you kidding me?
Jesse Eisenberg. Oh my god.
Bruce Banner, are you kidding me? Oh god. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to, hop across the pond, right? So...
I want to stress so bad. But it says each movie, they're calling them movie zones, so I don't even know if they're like actual theme parks or if it's more like an Epcot kind of thing. But
sure.
Each zone will feature themed restaurants, which, interested,
listen,
cafes, souvenir shops, and entertainment performances.
I have never wanted anything more than to become an actual vampire on stage. Literally,
Allie has booked her ticket. She's moving to South Korea.
I will fall on stage, rip open my blouse, make me a vampire on stage. There's gotta be someone that's gonna do this, though, is the thing.
Oh my god.
I think I've watched a Criminal Minds episode start that way, is the problem.
Oh my gosh.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Listen, the world is ending, so please just let this happen before that. That's all I'm asking for. In other news of the world is ending and wild things are happening during this, can we talk about this fantastic crossover that I didn't know existed until about, 2 hours ago? And it's kind of changed the game.
Okay, so Cosmo released, I would say, the most important article of this year.
Thank you, Cosmo. Thank you. Finally.
Thank you, Cosmo. Thank you, the Bold Type, for making this happen. Thank you, all of it.
You finally stopped talking about shitty blowjobs, and you've gotten to the real important stuff.
Let me just hit you with this headline real quick. Robert Pattinson once lived with Screech from Saved by the Bell, and our brains can't cope.
I wrote this article.
There's so much to dissect here. But the main point here
is that my nom de plume is Olivia Blair.
Okay, great. And also
the crater on Robert Pattinson's forehead.
Stop. Okay, there is a photo. I will say there's a photo of Robert Pattinson, and Allie and I are very confused as to what is happening with this poor boy's head.
This article is the only thing that's ever mattered to me in my whole life.
Basically, Robert Pattinson and Screech from Saved by the Bell lived together, and fucking Screech showed him what a Hot Pocket was. So really, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to humanity.
It is worth noting that we are not disrespecting Dustin Diamond here. We are calling him Screech because apparently our Pats calls him Screech.
Like everyone. I don't think he has a real name.
Oh.
Like Dustin Diamond? Okay, sure. Screech.
His nom de plume. Yes. So this article is the most important thing that's ever happened to me, and Cody and I may have spent a long time dissecting the intricacies of it. So there's a lot going on here. Mainly...
And there's a real good photo of Screech in here. Just like a real good photo.
It's true. Mainly, I would have never expected, if you'd have put it on a pop quiz on Celebrity Hot Takes, I would have never guessed. So I'm just amazed, and everything is perfect about it. So thank you so much, Cosmo. I appreciate it. And also just the fact that it was written yesterday, just like, I'm shook. And also, I just really, Cody, please, I just want to know what's on our pet's face in that photo. It's going to haunt me for the rest of my life, is what I'm trying to say. I don't want to talk about these chapters.
You know what? Fuck it.
Oh. Okay. Can you imagine? Thank you so much for this 15-minute podcast.
Thank you.
This has been the Into the Current Events podcast.
But, like, not current events, just current events that specifically relate to the Twilight series.
Fuck you. Those are current events.
All right. I think you can.
All right. So, here's the thing. We read chapters 25 and 26.
We did.
And this is when shit starts to hit the fan and kind of preps us for what we're going to be talking about in basically the next month or so. Mm-hmm. Which is wild. So, chapter 25 leaves off right where we stopped last week. With Victoria's head rolling off into the trees. R.I.P.
Really graceful stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was very beautiful. So, as we have talked about, essentially for almost a year now, folks, please remember, Bella's been through a lot. And this chapter in particular, we're going to be discussing Bella's trauma a lot. So, just please.
Buckle up, everyone.
Yes, please. So chapter 25 starts off with Bella being shook as fuck. Understandably so. And Edward just, like, not paying her any mind. And instead just focusing on making a bonfire out of these old vamps' bodies.
Yeah, really good.
Just very fixated on this task with Seth. Like, it's a very important bonding activity for the two of them. So that's very nice. The thing that I never expected to read again, and I had just personally blocked out, was the phrase, quote, Edward with his arms full of Riley.
What?
So that's a hard pass for me, actually. And there's very few still at this point, the only redeemable part of this chapter, and I do say this with recognizing that Bella is against the cliff face, in shock right now, is that once they are done making this bonfire, Edward and Seth fist bump, Which would have
Go
been...
team!
Yeah, which in any other circumstance would have been 1, cute, 2, pure, and 3, hilarious.
Right.
Except for, hi, your wife?
Your literal wife
Like, I don't understand. So,
is crying and just saw someone get decapitated.
right,
But, like, it's chill.
yeah. Yeah, everything is crumbling, but, you know, men, right? So once this is done, Edward is like, oh shit, yeah, my wife. And it's like, oh, crap. You're like... kind of freaking out right now. I should probably take care of this. So it's described that he walks towards Bella similar to how you would walk in like a hostage situation, in like a very like slow, and he's using like a very calming cadence with his voice, and he's like, hey, like, it's chill. Like, don't worry about it.
And I will say that this is a really nice way to handle it. Like, he understands that she definitely went through traumas, going like, hey, I know you saw some crazy shit back there. Just don't want to, like, be too aggressive and, like, make you feel weird.
Right.
Cool. You tell me if I'm overstepping. All that stuff.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it is mentioned here that, like, it's an exaggerated slowness. He's got his hands up, like... he's doing his best to, like, be chill. I just love that he's like, Bella, can you just drop the rock, please? And she's like, oh, shit, I forgot about this. So, that's great. Now, they have this conversation, and it comes to light with Bella slowly that he's acting this way because he assumes she thinks that Edward is going to hurt her. And she's like, oh, no. Like, no.
What? Why would you? What?
That's a weird jump for you to make, Edward.
Absolutely. Like, you silly bean. Come on.
Yeah. But before they can actually communicate that out loud, Bella starts to walk towards him, and Edward's like, oh, no. We should probably keep a distance for a second. She trips over herself to get to him, and as soon as he catches her in his arms, she loses it. Understandably so. This section is the biggest mood of 2017, because, so she starts to sob. Edward starts apologizing, and he's like, hey, like, it's over. It's all good. And Bella says, I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm just freaking out. Give me a minute. And I'm like, yo.
The most relatable bit of text
that Bella's ever said.
Yeah.
Like,
just give me a minute.
I just need a human minute here for a second.
Yeah,
like,
literally. Oh, fuck. I missed those times.
in the forest, like, literally bleeding. Just went through another life or death situation. She's like, you know what? I'm all good. So, I get it. It's all good. And then she starts to find out that, like, everything is actually good.
Yeah.
They had their fight, and it's been, like, de-escalated and good. And the other fight that was going on, then de-escalated, also good. When she's asking about everybody, I thought that it was cute that she asks if Alice and Esme were okay first. I was like, oh, pure.
Me.
Yep. But I think that it is important, too, that she starts to be like, oh, shit, okay, like, my family's safe. Victoria's, like, actually dead. This is good. But she says, I couldn't completely take in the good news while I was still so confused. And I was like, yep, that's... there we go.
Yep.
So then they actually start to communicate about why Edward thought that she was afraid of him. And she's like, oh, no. Like, that part where you were killing people in front of me? What? And it even says here, like, I shrugged. Shrugging was good, too. Very blasé. And she was like, no, that wasn't...
Yeah.
You with your marble body hurting other people with marble bodies?
What?
That's weird. So I just thought that was very, like, no, I'm not going to talk about my fetish out here in public.
No, what? Hey, keep that for inside.
Yeah. That is an interior tent conversation. So I did think that it was interesting that Edward uses the phrase, you nearly gave me a heart attack. And I was like, motherfucker, like, you don't...
Like, we know. Hey.
Listen.
Don't try to...
Yeah, so he starts to talk about the rock incident with the third wife thing. And Bella, of course, being who she is, she's like, I wanted to help. Like, you're not gonna put me on the sidelines for this. And then we find out that when we thought that Seth was hurt last chapter, he was not hurt. He was putting on a ruse.
Faking it. He tricked us all. We all cared so much.
I get so nervous when I talk about Seth. My son. And he was trying to be smart about this, doing his little ruse. So it's important.
Yeah.
So what I love about this, though, is they're having this conversation. Seth is still there. So they, like, pan over to Seth, and he's, like, smug. And he's like, God damn, like, this was my one thing. Let me have this one thing. I can't even call it my...
I wanted to kill her.
I know. It's so cute. So here's the thing. Everything seems sort of fine. Yeah. So they're getting ready to go back to the clearing with everybody else. And then... this is the part that's my least favorite of this chapter. No, not my least favorite of this chapter, but, like, personally my least favorite part. So they're getting ready to go. And then all of a sudden, Edward and Seth simultaneously freak out. And every time I reread this book, I forget about this part because my mind's like, nope. And I guess it's just that I have a weak point. When people, like, fall to their knees in, like, anything, it's like, oh, yeah, no good. So Seth freaks out and he starts whining. It's like, uh-oh. And then Edward falls to his knees and he's freaking out. So Bella, of course, starts freaking out too. So Edward starts using we words and starts talking about Sam, but he doesn't explain what's going on. He just sends Seth away. And is like, oh, that was weird. Nothing's... what? We're not going to communicate about what just happened. Let's just... Nah. He just, like, pops back up, like, dusts his shoulders off, and then goes. And so they head back into the forest and go to meet the rest of the family. And then he's like, oh, yeah, so that... well, we're just heading back to the family because the Volturi are coming. And Bella, being my pure sweetheart that she is like, oh... so I just hit my breaking point is the thing. Understandably so, because, hi, you're going through the worst amount of things.
Yeah.
I mean, she says even here, like, could I handle this? Like, the idea of this, she's, like, flinching away from the memory. She's mentioning, like, I was close to my breaking point. Hi, because it's Bella, and there's only so much, like, a human could handle at this point.
Right.
So she finally gets to the point where she has... Edward tell her what's going on. And he explains that there was one newborn that was hiding, and Leah tried to take care of it herself because she's a strong, independent woman who can help anything. However, the newborn got the best of the situation, and she finds out that Leah wasn't the one that was hurt. So, obviously, we know, as the reader, like, why would Edward have fallen down if it was someone that he cared about? So we find out, of course, that it was Jacob. So here's the thing. Edward says Jacob. And then Bella says, I was able to nod once. Of course, I whispered. And then she says everything went to black. And it's like, nope, there we go. Like, that was it. I'm gone. My pure child, there's only so much you can handle. And fade to black, we get to the clearing, and all of the family is around her, of course. Okay, so Edward is freaking out, of course, because we find out she's been unconscious for like 5 minutes, and Edward is not a patient person. No. So Daddy Malfoy is like, Edward, Daddy, could you just chill? She's trying her best, okay?
She really is.
She really is. It's even mentioned here, like, she says, I felt totally disconnected from my body. Like, I was caged in a small corner of my head, no longer at the controls. Like, what do you want? Like, that's as clear as you can get here. So then we get Alice, and this is the part, I can't handle this part. She's like, well, we have about 5 minutes till the Volturi get here, and also, Bella's gonna open her eyes in about 37 seconds. By the way, I'm pretty sure she can hear us now. And it's like, damn, like, can you just call her out, like, a little bit more? So the thing that actually gets her to wake up, of course, is Edward saying that Jacob is fine, or that he will be fine.
Right.
And Daddy Malfoy reassures that, too, of course, because he's Daddy Malfoy. And he even
And he knows his shit. He's a good scientist. He's a good doctor.
He is. He even like decides to make a joke at the end of explaining it to her. Like, it'd be easier if he phased back into being a human because he's never been to vet school, and it's like, damn. I love him. I love him so much. We get a little bit more information about Jacob's injuries, though. That the right half of his body was shattered, and I was like, ooh.
His entire right side is fucked.
Yep. So that's a hard pass for me, is the thing. So apparently not all of the family was surrounded by Bella when she conked out. We find out that Jazz was gone. And it's not Jazz being his usual, like, Bella, I appreciate you, but I'm going to just do me, like, over there. It's because there is another person with them in this clearing. And we find out that it's a teenager who has crimson red eyes. And the teenager is, who we come to find out, is Bree Tanner.
Boy, boy, boy.
Da, da, da.
Boy, boy, boy.
And I have so many feelings about Jazz in this moment, because we find out that, like, he was trying to be everywhere during this fight, because, like, this is at once, like, his best element, but also is bringing back a lot of shit for him. So we find out that he was bit like a ton. He was, like, rubbing his hands, and we find out that he's on guard here, trying to keep Bree away from Bella. And so he's, like, pissed. He doesn't want to be here. He was trying to do the most to keep his family safe, but also to make sure that Alice didn't have anything to do during the fight, which pissed her off.
Absolutely.
Well, because she even says...
Fuck, let me go. I want to go.
Yeah, I mean, she even says here, like, she calls him an overprotective fool. And so, she's just been unamused this whole time. So we get some information about Bree here. Just a slight introduction about her character. And I'm curious how you felt about Bree, because this is your first time meeting her.
Yeah, I mean...
She's mentioned here about, like, being kind of feral, I guess.
Yeah,
like,
she's just young and pissed and just, like, snarling at Bella.
Right.
Bella's like, cool,
Because, I mean, this is
do that somewhere else?
Yeah. This is, I guess, our second introduction to a newborn. Because Riley was still a newborn, but obviously a lot more in control. This Bree here...
And also a lot more just, like, foreshadowing and backstory.
Right, yeah. So Bree here is what we're supposed to imagine a newborn is like, right? So, I mean... It's mentioned, of course, that the reason that she's still alive is because Carlisle offered the safety to her if she just, like, stopped, fighting.
Just please, God.
Yep, which is very Daddy Malfoy of them.
Absolutely.
Yep, and of course they're unamused because of the fact that Bree just, like, will not chill. She needs Bella.
She wants to fight so bad.
Yep. So, cue... the Volturi coming, right? That's what we've been waiting for. Now, the one thing that I love about this entrance of the Volturi is how dramatic it is.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's very good. I just love the fact that Stephanie took the time to mention that Felix, like, let his hood fall back enough so that he could wink at Bella. How dramatic do you have to be? I can't.
So extra.
I love it so much. So this conversation is wild and very interesting to me. Of course, Carlisle's going to play the mediator of it because that's his role here.
Yep. In life.
In life, yes. In life and in love. And so Jane is the head of their small little group here. And she's like, so what the fuck happened? Actually.
What's up?
Because what we found out when Edward and Bella were on their way to the clearing is that the Volturi knew what the newborns were doing. Right. And they were just, like, letting it happen. And so in case one of the newborns, like, took out some of the Cullen family, they'd be like, oh, well, that sucks, but we're not going to do anything about it. And so when they're having this conversation, it's important to know that backstory. I mean, this conversation goes on for a long time, but some of the backstory here is Jane trying to figure out more of who created these people. And when she doesn't get enough interesting conversation, I guess, out of the Cullens, she moves on to Bree. And it's just hard for me to sonically imagine these two high-pitched childlike voices talking to each other. It's just hard for me. But we find out from Bree that Riley never said Victoria's name out loud, that it was all very calculated.
Yeah.
And it's important, I don't know, I guess this is the part that I like about the movie, and of course you'll find out when we watch it in a couple weeks. That part is mentioned way earlier. So we get these like side-by-side narratives happening. So it's not just like they revealed it all at the end kind of thing. So I prefer that a little bit better. It is, of course, revealed with Jane, as usual, that they're like, so you just decided that it was okay to spare one of these newborns. And Carla's like, well, yeah. I mean, duh. She said that she wouldn't hurt anybody anymore.
Look at it. Come on.
Yeah.
You trust that face?
Yeah. And Jane just kind of looks at him and squints and is like, that wasn't your choice to make, though. And so we kind of knew that this was not going to end well.
Yeah.
But before that could happen, Jane's amazing. Before that could happen, she just like looks at Edward and Bella and then just tries her best to like hurt Bella just for the sole fact that she exists. It's just like, damn. Can you imagine? It is important that Jane recognizes that Bella's still human. And so she's like, Caius and Ara would be interested to know the fact that, like, you haven't followed up on your promise. So that's great. Yep, she just like doesn't give a fuck, which is amazing to me.
Absolutely not.
And Alice, like, finally chirps in at the end and is like, so, just so you know, like, we have a date set. You can chill out for, like, 2 seconds. Jane, of course, doesn't give a shit, which I love. And then the chapter ends, and this is like peak Jane, which is amazing to me. She looks over at Felix, is like, take care of this. I want to go home. And this is Felix just like ripping Bree's body apart so that they can leave. It's like, damn.
Wow. Power play.
Very big power play. And so the chapter ends with just more fucking smoke being added to that goddamn bonfire. And that's it. No more Bree. For now, anyway.
Bye.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Well, I mean, like, the reason that there's a novella about her is like...
Right, I was gonna say, I'm like, so... Is it just that?
Stephanie Meyer copy and pasted that part of the chapter.
3 pages.
Sold it as a novella.
and made $1 million.
Exactly. Yeah. Which I'm actually interested because I haven't read that before, so it'll be new for both of us.
Wow.
So chapter 26, aka my least favorite.
Oh boy. You know, you can't keep saying this every time. Like, I get it. But also, is it?
I mean, isn't it? It's just...
I feel like we've had a lot of least favorites in the past couple weeks. You know what I mean?
It's just that Stephanie, when she decides to make manipulative Jacob, it's just like
it's bad. It's bad.
That is my least favorite.
Yep, agreed.
And it's aptly titled Ethics.
Blet.
Great. The chapter starts off with them back at the Cullens' house, and Bella also being reminded that instead of all this traumatic stuff happening, she was supposed to be at a sleepover.
Yeah.
Right. I also forgot that, Bella, so it's okay.
It's fine. It was 1 billion years ago.
Yeah. Alice is trying to play dress up on her, as usual. And Bella's not paying attention. Also fine. Because all she can think about is Jacob. It's fine, I guess. When they're doing this, though, it's very filler because the fact that there's a few things that Stephanie wants to get through in this conversation between her and Alice. The first one being when Alice says, quote, part of being a Cullen is being meticulously responsible. Like, your image comes first.
Right.
Which I thought was interesting because it'll kind of come back with a conversation between Bella and Charlie later on. But then this conversation that Bella and Alice have where she's answering these questions, because it's wild to me. I guess before that, though, there's this part where Alice says that, okay, so they're talking about the first question that Bella has, which is, when she turns, will she be like Bree? Because that's, like, the point of Bree, right? Is, like, why else would it be called Mirrors? You know, like, there's a symbolic reason for her character, right? So Bella's obviously been thinking about that and what it means to be a newborn. So with this conversation, Alice is like, oh, no, we'll keep you out of trouble. And my favorite line in this is when Bella says, I know that, I trust you. But it also says, my voice is monotone, dead. And it's like, same. And then this, like, next one, the other question that she has is about her, like, gifts or whatever. It's hard to call them gifts because she's still a human and not a vampire yet. But she obviously has something, right? She has an it factor. It's her smize, I guess.
Oh my god. She's got a little something. She's got a spark.
Yeah. Tyra would be proud, is what I'm trying to say. And so Alice is trying to explain what it is. And the differences between, like, what Jasper does and what Jane does. And that Jasper works on her actual body, like, on the hormones and, like, sparks firing on her body and not actually on her brain. Whereas Jane is, like, working on her brain. She's like, oh, shit, I guess I do actually have something going for me. It's like, yes, Bella, you are valid. You are important.
Come on.
So anyway, finally, that ridiculous conversation ended, and she gets home. She has to put on this ruse, tell her loving father, Charlie, that the shopping trip and the sleepover were great. So she gets home, and we find out that Charlie was just over to see Jake, and Jake was okay. He was healing anyway, and my favorite thing about this is that lovely Charlie, my sweet Charlie,
baby,
is that he says, like, he should be all right because the fact that he was cursing so much. And Charlie's like, I don't know where he picked up that vocabulary, but I hope he hasn't been using that kind of language around you. It's like, Dad, sweetie, like, what did you think?
Come on.
He's like a high schooler. What did you think was going on? Anyway, I thought that was pure. This whole conversation is very interesting to me because on the surface, it's very like, oh, okay, maybe Charlie will be okay when I tell him about what's going on. Because he starts talking about, like, you know, I don't believe in all that superstitious stuff, but maybe it is okay. Like, Billy knew what was going on with Jake somehow and stuff. And Bella's like, yeah, great.
Sure.
But underneath that, in the subtext, it is worth noting that Carlisle's talking about Daddy Malfoy a lot in this little section.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying. And
it's there.
I'm just saying. And he starts talking about the fact that Daddy Malfoy has been spending a lot of time at Billy's place.
Hello.
And when he's discussing that, his face is, quote, thoughtful when he does it.
Wow.
So, what else is he doing on those long stretches of house calls? You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
That's all I'm saying. Apparently, during those house calls, Edward has been over at the Black House too. And that has done a number on Charlie because Charlie has enough to tell Bella that, quote, he's a decent guy and he'll try to remember that. No promises though. Which, God, like, okay. Of course, none of this actually helps her conscience feel better, right? Because it's Bella. And she even mentions, like, if only I could be struck by lightning and be split in two. Which, Bella, please stop. Like, none of this is helpful. None of this is doing any good for actually helping you to heal and be a better friend here. The thing that I guess interested me about this part is that it started to make Bella feel more guilty. And it's like, one, she doesn't need that right now, too. But it felt, I don't know. It's not like Steph has ever been subtle about anything throughout this whole series so far. But I guess I just don't like it when, like, authors try to set up the goodbye here, too. Right. Especially because Charlie is a police officer. There's a difference between, like, him trusting his instincts through, like, language and behavior, and then him just like all of a sudden switching up his character and being like, all of a sudden during this conversation when you've gotten back from a trip and one of your friends has gotten hurt, I just have a feeling that you're gonna leave me soon. It's like, no shit, dude. She's going off to school. Like,
yeah, bro. Sorry.
yeah, I don't know. Something about that just felt weird to me. But anyway, Starwipe, and she ends up at Jacob's house. And that's when things get nasty, like really quick.
With a capital N.
Yes, it's so bad. So here's the thing. I hate this. Jacob is on a lot of morphine.
Yep.
That is important, I guess, just because he's not sober. And I'm sure that that would influence his decision making in this conversation.
Sure.
I guess, especially when Bella asks him, how are you feeling? And he says, a little stoned. Dr. Fang isn't sure how much pain medication I need. So he's going with trial and error.
Dr. Fang.
I know. I still love Daddy Malfoy, but Dr. Fang is a good runner-up for that.
It's really good.
It's really good. I love that. So, yikes. Bella has decided that she's just gonna rip this Band-Aid off and have a conversation with Jacob. Because, great. Let's just do this now. And she's been worried about him, so it's kind of a twofold reason for her to see him. However, the conversation gets gross really quick because of the fact that Jake still feels like there's a game going on.
Yeah.
Even though, like, 1, Bella is engaged.
Yep.
2, they're literally getting married. 3, she has said so many times that this is not a thing that she wants with Jacob. So this is all very clear. However, he has decided to tell her that he, being Edward, is playing the game every bit as hard as he is. Only that apparently Edward knows what he's doing and Jacob doesn't. So it gets gross. Even more gross. Very quickly. They start having these conversations about, like, is it better that Bella knows now that she loves him? Or would it have been better if she'd have never figured it out? And it's like, does this matter? Like, is this a conversation? Like, how? I hate this. This is not a conversation that you two should be having. At least not in those words. That is not an effective way to communicate that. Right. Anyway. In the midst of this, Bella, being who she is, has decided that everything thus far, and apparently her relationship with Jacob, is her fault. And since Edward will not admit to that, she wants Jacob to admit to that, not only in his mind, but verbally, and tell her so.
Right.
And so Jacob, being stoned, is like, yeah, man, totally. I'll play along with this game. And so he starts saying things back to her verbally that seem very real and very genuine, of like, kissing me back like that was inexcusable. And you should have told me to go die. Now, here's the thing. Jacob, I want you to listen to Bella. However, listening to Bella and knowing what she wants means recognizing that when she tells you to communicate verbally that something's her fault when it's not her fault, that is not doing...
Not at all.
That is not doing your job. So anyway, he says these things out loud to her, and she's like, oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go now, and just starts sobbing. And so he responds with, I can't believe you're crying. You know I just said those things because you wanted me to. I didn't mean them. And so Bella, being the beautiful child that she is like, I know.
Yeah, okay.
And she's like, it's still true though. Thanks for saying it out loud. It's just like, fuck. My sweet child. There's none of this. Please stop. So we get our obligatory biblical reference that makes no sense here. Thank you for bringing up King Solomon, Stephanie. Appreciate it so much. which of course leads to Jacob deciding that he will say to Bella in a vaguely threatening way, I'm not going to cut you in half anymore. Now, what he means is, I'm going to respect your wishes and back off. But instead of actually saying those words and meaning them, what he means is, I'm going to say what you want me to say, and then in about 2 pages, say things like, the worst part is knowing what could have been, and I'm exactly right for you, and I'll always be here for you. Which is not, I'm not going to cut you in half anymore.
Yeah, opposite, I would think.
Very opposite. Yep. That's not how that works, Jacob. So we get the obligatory conversation about how Jacob is her son, like her son, not like my son.
My child,
Yeah.
Jacob Black.
That, of course, leads to the fantastic quote of Jacob saying, literally said this out loud. Stoned Jacob said this out loud. The clowns I can handle, but I can't fight with an eclipse.
What?
Same. There is literal
There it is,
phlegm.
boys. There it is.
Literal phlegm. Now, Bella's trying to be clear here. Like, as clear as she possibly can.
Yeah, she's trying so hard.
Yeah, she's literally telling him, like, I never had a choice. I always knew nothing would change. Maybe that's why I was fighting against you so hard. Maybe that's why I was fighting against you so hard, Jacob. And, but, of course, he's, like, still not getting it. So they have this conversation. Bella is so fucking guilt-ridden that when they're discussing if she's afraid she wants to change, she's like, oh yeah, well, maybe I'll fuck up so bad in my new life, the one that I think I'm destined to be, that the Quileute pack will just have to take me out. You know, the ones that are my friends, like Quill and Embry.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they can just take me out, but I'm not a masochist, though.
Nah.
No.
Nah.
Yeah. So, Jacob has decided to continue on his bingo board of douchebaggery, of saying things like, you know how much I wish your love was enough, like, I'll always be waiting in the wings. I hate all of this stuff. It's the worst. I hate it all. When she finally decides to leave, thank you, Bella, she tells him that she loves him. And he says, love you more. Because, like, he just can't let her be the last word, apparently.
Absolutely not. I have to win.
Yep, it's all a game. It's all a game. And that is how chapter 26 ends, is with a fucking game that they're playing. Apparently.
I hate it.
I also hate it.
It's gross and nasty and I hate it.
Yep. The one thing, and I think I will have us touch on it in the movie, is, and all I'll say is just remember Romeo and Juliet when the scenes that we've just talked about happened.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought you said Bromeo and Juliet, and that got me very excited.
Yeah, you know, Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
All I will say, though, is this last bit of when Bella is with Jacob, Taylor Lautner looks like he is covered in baby oil, and it's, like, a lot.
No. Oh, no. I hate it.
Well, he's on, like, morphine and stuff. He's having a lot of fever, and he's already a very hot boy.
Oh, my God.
So,
Bye.
no, he has, like, a feet. Like, he always runs.
No, I
like,
know. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. And so they have to, like, show that. And it looks like they put a baby oil in a fucking spray bottle. I'm just saying.
He just dived into a tub of Vaseline.
He just lives in lard. Okay, next week, Cody, is our final episode about the novel
God.
Eclipse. So, chapter 27 and the epilogue. Well, before we continue on to shit, let's talk about our patrons.
Yeah, boy.
Yes, we have 2, our adorable patrons, whose names fantastically fit into the Twilight universe, which makes me so happy on so many levels.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
No, I mean to the patrons, not to you. Like, it's whatever. Forget it.
I love it. I love it so much.
Bye. Goodbye. I'm going back under the covers. Bye.
So, our $10 patrons, thank you so much to Rachel Black, sister of Jacob Black. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you are in this family. And our other $10 patron of Jessica Stanley.
Yay.
Fantastic.
Wow.
I am so glad that they have graced us with our money.
If you have a Twilight adjacent name or any name, you can also be one of these people at patreon.com/thetwilight.
If you don't have a Twilight adjacent name and you would like us to have make you a new Twilight adjacent name, I will do whatever.
This is all that Allie cares about. She will absolutely just craft you.
I'll craft warehouse your life.
Oh my god.
My new business card slogan. So
do we have a fan fiction?
I do. And I found this one. I did on my own.
Proud of you. Wow, all by yourself?
All by my goddamn self. So here's the thing, Cody. For the past almost year, I have been searching for fan fictions in a lot of different places.
Sure.
I have not, to the best of my knowledge, I also have a bad memory, so fuck off if this is wrong. I have not gone onto the dark web of Tumblr to find a fan fiction.
Oh boy.
Until now. And I am a changed person. Because what I found is that there's a lot of things that Twilight has in common with My Little Pony.
Oh no.
And I hate that, is what I'm trying to say. So I found...
What have you done? Allie, no.
No,
Allie.
no, I haven't, no.
Okay.
Listen.
Okay.
No,
I just don't want the bronies to come here. This is our safe space.
Okay. That's what I fucking thought our tags were, and they're not a safe space. So I'm trying to say.
Oh my god.
Okay, so this is from the Imaginative Twilight blog.
Okay.
And a person asked for a character and a prompt. The character that they asked for a fan fiction of was Jessica Stanley. And the prompt that they asked for was a quote of, "I waited and waited, but you never came back." So I'm going to read you a little bit of this fan fiction. And the fucked up thing is, Cody, it was good.
Damn.
Which is fucked up. Like me.
Unheard of in this podcast.
Listen. Okay. This is good. I don't know who runs it, but good job. Okay. Jessica Stanley had a lot on her mind senior year at Forks High School. Not Mike Newton, thank God. She had moved on from the prick after prom the year Bella came to Forks. In fact, her and I had started dating after the prom. My name is Casey Cullen, and I am the twin of Emmett Cullen. Jessica and I dated for months, and I knew that by dating her, I was helping her figure out what she really wanted in life. She matured much during our relationship. The small town gossip didn't mean much to her anymore. The foolishness of Mike Newton didn't sway her anymore. She no longer was the girl who joked around to get a guy's attention. She studied and began to seriously look for colleges outside of Forks and even out of Washington. Our relationship consisted of dates to movies, galleries, trips to Seattle. I wanted to expose her to the world, and she couldn't see from Forks to Port Angeles. Then the bombshell happened. Edward decided he needed to find Victoria, the mate of James, and dispose of her before she came after Bella. People started to notice that Carlisle wasn't aging. While Edward took his time to break the news to Bella about us leaving, I went on my last date with Jessica and told her that my family was moving. I told her that Carlisle had been offered a job at a hospital that needed his help and that Alice got accepted to an art school near his new job. I told her that our family didn't want to split apart and that I was moving as well. She was shocked, but thankfully didn't burst into tears. Then I went even further and broke up with her, saying that a long-distance relationship would only distract her from her progress in school. It wasn't easy, but it had to be done. And scene.
Cute.
It gets, sad, but the ending is, very sassy. Jessica is very cute.
Wow. I love it.
Yeah. I like it a lot.
That's great.
Yep.
Ugh.
And the person, the writer, didn't assume who Casey was. They didn't...
Yeah.
they didn't decide throughout it who it was. And I was like, all right.
Sure.
Sick.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
As we say in Forks.
Get bit, y'all.
Boy,
Oh, hi there. Guess who stole Cody's mic and took over the end credits? This is an Earbud Media production. You can pitch a show at bit.ly/earbudpitch. You can check out the network's Twitter at Earbud Media. And while you're doing that, why don't you follow us everywhere at Into the Twilight? Since you're doing that, why don't you just go ahead and check out our Patreon? It's patreon.com/intothetwilight. Just as little as $1 a month, you can get some cool things like pins and books, help us do cool things like live streams. You can always help us out for free with rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. Our amazing artwork was done by Maddie Padilla, who you can find at YourGhostHost44. Our fantastic music was done by Eli Krause, who you can find at krausefilms.com. The intro and outro of our podcast is done by KB Smith, who you can find at KB_Smith. You can find Cody everywhere online at Cody Captures, and you can find me now everywhere at Into Wild Places. You stayed until the end. Check you out. Good job, and we will check back with you next week. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, what's up, John?
I just wanted to confirm that we were recording Monday.
Yes.
What are we recording for?
Oh, it's our new podcast.
Our podcast, the Strange Little People one.
Strange
right?
Little People, yeah.
Yeah, the one on Earbud Media Productions.
Mm-hmm. You can find it on YouTube. You can listen to it.
The one that we update every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, dude.
When we have new guests all the time.
Sometimes.
Most
of the time.
Yeah, and we talk about current events and stuff.
People should listen to it, right?
Yeah.
It's something cool.
I think people would like it. I mean, you don't have to, but I hope you would.
Did you put out the ad yet? The flyers?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now, as we speak.
No, you're sitting down.
No, this is happening right now, as we speak.
John, why did my hand just go through you?
Oh my god.
John.
We'll talk about it next week.